This is Mr. McGarey with an overview of my primary web resource, my web page. First of all, navigation. If you start at the Westwood High School website and you go to our staff and down to teacher web page directory, then look for my last name and click on the hyperlink, you'll get to my web page. Now you can also Google that. I'm going to Google McGarey Math Westwood, and it should get a hit there. There it is again. And here's the web page. Now you can bookmark it once you've found it the first time. Over on the left, I have my subpages organized by subject, and then within subject by block. Let's look at geometry as an example. I'll click on the geometry hyperlink. At the top of the page, there's a link to the grading website. That website is not really useful at the beginning of the year, and I have a separate video that addresses that website. There's a link if you want to email me as well. Down at the bottom of that page, there'll be general resources. In this case, there's an information sheet for that course. Going back up to the geometry subpages, I'll click on the Block D calendar as an example. And a Google Calendar will appear. This calendar is in monthly format. You can change the look to a weekly look. I'm clicking up here in the upper right. Or an agenda look as well. I'm going to go back to the week view. Now, this calendar can be added to your Google Calendar by clicking on the bottom right. I strongly suggest that students do that. Google is one of the main platforms here at Westwood High School. That way they can go right to the calendar instead of going through the process of getting to my web page. Let's take a look at the week of August 31st to September 6, 2014. I want to look at Thursday in particular. If you look at this day, you'll see two sections listed. Those are sections in the geometry book, and their headings are listed as well. As you can see, they're a little bit cut off. I definitely recommend students click on them to see the full view, especially with regard to homework. Otherwise, you might miss problem 36, which was assigned but not seen unless you clicked on it. So here's what we're doing in class that day, and here's what's for homework. This homework is not due on Thursday, it's assigned on Thursday. Let's click on this. So as you can see, there's a few problems in section 1.1 that day, and more problems in section 1.2. Unless otherwise noted, let's take a look at that again. Not noted. Unless otherwise noted, homework is due the next class day. Now, there's an exception on this week. I'll show it to you here on Tuesday, September 2nd. The homework that's assigned that day is Algebra Review, and I note it's due Monday, September 8th. Whenever homework is not due the next day, I note it on the day it's assigned, and also if we switch to the next week, I note it on the day it's due. Also in the calendar, as long as we're on the week of September 7th to 13th, assessments are noted right here. On Friday the 12th, there's a quiz, and the subject of the quiz is listed there as well. And that's pretty much it for the calendar pages. Now let's take a look at the course materials subpage. Again, I'm back over here on the left, and I'm going to click on course materials. And the course materials are organized by unit. In the case of geometry, the units are the chapters of the book. I'm going to switch over to Algebra 2 for a second just to show you a slightly different look. Algebra 2 course materials. They're organized by general unit, not by chapter in the book. So if we click on Algebra 2 functions, that unit, and we go down to the bottom, there would be files in here that relate to that unit. Obviously, I haven't populated that yet, so let's take a look at geometry because I know I've populated some of those anyway. So we'll go to the first unit, again, the first section, first chapter, excuse me, of the book, Tools of Geometry. We'll click on that. And down at the bottom, there are resources specific to that first chapter in the book. Almost always the resources are in PDF form, which is most easily readable. And finally, if we go back to the course materials top page, in this case in geometry, there are often materials or files at the bottom of that page not filed within unit because they are more general resources. I hope this was helpful for you. Please email me if you have any questions.